right? So diversify. And I don't know that, she necessarily is giving examples just about, what's happening in the bedroom while you're in the bedroom, because I think her point is that if you do things in a way that's different outside, so once in a while when she said, oh, you see your partner on the stage, or you see them doing something that you've never seen them before, what her research suggests is that enhances attraction. Mm-hmm. So people who have a more diverse life, they've maybe lived in different places, they work in different types of projects, they interact with different type of people, they tend to have a more psychologically rich life, right? Whatever kind of life you have, you can actually shake things up a little bit. And by diversifying, we are doing a few things. We are dishabituating, because now, we have different inputs that we're not used to. We also, as we talked about before, putting ourselves in a context of learning, right? And that's important. Learning is always good. We enjoy learning.
Well, it boosts your happiness based on the research.
Right, exactly.
I have another question about the research, which is, when does habituation and the fact that you're now used to your life feel the most overwhelming?
Right. So I think it is when things are not changing for a prolonged time, and we see that in our midlife. And so there's this interesting thing called the U-shape of happiness. So happiness is quite high in kids and teenagers, and then it goes down, 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 and reaches rock bottom in your midlife. But then it starts going up again and actually remains quite high until the last couple of years of life. And again, this U-shape is on average, right? So it's thousands of individuals, and we're looking for a trend and, data from thousands of individuals. It doesn't mean that for every person, midlife will be the bottom part and, you'll be happy in the edges, but that's in general. And so why are people less happy in midlife? There could be many reasons, but one reason is it is the least amount of change, right? If you think about it, as when you're a kid, things are changing all the time. I mean, you're changing, you're growing, right? You're learning. It's like a most amount of change. Then you're in the 20s. You're trying different things. You're trying different partners. You're trying different professions. Maybe you're in university or in college, right? You're learning a lot. And then comes midlife, and things are kind of similar. Most people kind of stay in the same place because maybe people have kids. You're mostly, on average, maybe with the same partner. You may be at the top of your game professionally, but you're kind of maintaining, right? You're not kind of looking up.
When does habituation pose the biggest, I think, threat to upsetting what might be otherwise like a nice life? Because I could see how you getting used to your neighborhood, you getting used to I'll just take the example of a kitchen. Your kitchen's perfectly fine, and yet you probably spend a lot of time on social media looking at kitchens and thinking about a kitchen renovation, and then you walk into another person's house and you're like, oh, we should have a coffee bar, what if I did white cabinets? And now all of a sudden you're looking at your kitchen, which has been perfectly fine, and you no longer like it, you kind of hate it. And so does habituation make you start to reject or not like the things in your life, from relationships to your job, to your neighborhood, to your kitchen? Is that part of the problem with this if you don't realize it's going on?
Yeah, because it brings you less joy. And as a result, you want something different, right? And I think your example is great because there's two things here. One is, it's something that you had before, which you thought was fantastic.
Yes.
The kitchen. You thought was fantastic before, but now is not that exciting, not that fun. And also the other thing that you said is well, I go to another person's house. I think their kitchen is great. And they probably come to yours, and for them, they think oh, the kitchen is great. Or they think oh, she has a wonderful life. She has and it's potentially the case that you have the same thing, right? But you've had it the same for a while.
Yes.
And that's why kind of we're looking for, diversity or new things. And it's not all bad, right? I mean, again, it's two sides of the coin. Okay, maybe we don't need to redo our kitchen every couple of years. But, that kind of need to progress, right? That's not necessarily just a bad thing. Right. That keeps us moving forward.
Yes.